Welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast, now part of the All City Network. Hit the subscribe button for YouTube and also become a DLLS diehard at www.alldlls.com. Now here's Jeff and John. Everybody, welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast. This is episode number 33, coming to you on Thursday instead of Friday. But today, Cody Freeman, Texas Rangers infielder, more utility infielder. He's listed as a third baseman, but he's played some shortstop too.
He can get around.
And tearing up AAA. It's going to be good to have Cody on and talk about his success this year. First of all, hit that subscribe button down there below. Give us a like. That always helps us. We've been clipping a lot of these and getting them out there for you guys. Share them with your friends. Hit that DLLS YouTube channel also for all your Stars, Cowboys, Rangers, obviously, and Mavericks. Big news coming out of there with the drafts coming up in basketball and, the number one overall pick. Lots of good stuff over there if you're following sports. DLLS has you covered. Also become a DLLS diehard at alldlls.com. You can subscribe there. They're always running deals. You get a T-shirt. I'm wearing mine today. That's really cool. And get all of that. You get sports every day. You get all the articles from beat writers that are known beat writers that cover every sport in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Plus, they're doing some college stuff and all that. Guys, it's just a big sports place in the Metroplex.
Yeah, it's big time. We're big time. And
it is.
You should know us. You should know us.
Yeah, we too. I mean, I'm semi part of this thing and having a blast. I tell you what, I have been impressed. And here's what I do that I find. So you guys know I'm big into football and I'm big into baseball, kind of hockey, kind of that. But I love jumping on those shows when I don't really know what's up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Like when the whole Luka deal went down, I thought it was a big deal, but I'm like, how big a deal is this? It was fun. I sat there for an hour mesmerized. They were floored. It was fun to listen to that stuff. I mean, if you're wanting to learn more, it's fun to get on there and listen to it. Here we talk about the weekly Rangers. Of course, the daily show with John Radigan. You guys are doing a post game
today.
Yeah. So you're double dipping. He's here at this studio. He heads to the big studio for that one later. But let's get into the big league team who's actually starting to play a little better.
Very much so. I would think. Now, last night didn't go great, losing 6-2, and Leiter had some ups and downs, and but you know what, the offense really seems to be having its best like 10-game stretch of the season. They're now I know there were some stinkers there. That game in Florida wasn't, or DC on Friday wasn't very good. You could argue last night wasn't good, but there are opportunities to score more than the 2 runs that they scored. They got robbed of 1 2-run double by Buxton, who then goes and hits a 3-run homer.
Yeah, that guy had a game, boy.
Basically accounts for 5 runs in a matter of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But if it's always the saying is, if you get on base, you're creating your chances.
And they're doing that.
Eventually, the hits are going to come, and we've been kind of seen glimmers of that in the past, and it's faded. So a win today would be huge. I don't know that with Bailey Ober, who's 6'8", his velocity's down. Then you got the steely Patrick Corbin on the mound, who's just been fantastic. So
God,
I don't know what's going to happen, but I do think that the offense is trending the right way.
Yeah, and let's look at where the Rangers are. They're 32-36 right now. They're 4-6 in their last 10. Of course, everyone knows they lost last night. Hey, they're only 5. They're still 5.5 out of behind the Astros. We're a month away from the All-Star break. Basically, they're 4 games back in the wild card. They are definitely not out of this thing, but they can't trend the way they are. What I think when you see them start to get that offense going, as Ranger fans, me included, y'all know I'm a big homer too. You're kind of thinking, okay, let's rattle off 8 or 9 wins in a row. Well, that just doesn't happen. What they need to do is win series.
Yeah,
that's what they need to do. They need to trend that way, win series, and basically on the road you need to be 500. At home, that's when you need to get it going. But when you're scoring, the record is still amazing. When they score 4 runs or more, they're like 25-4 or something like that.
I believe that's correct. Or
28-4 or something. Like, it's really crazy what they are if they score 4 runs. That's because the pitching's been so good. And you know what? I don't care what anyone says. Jack Leiter had an off day, but he's still an excellent pitcher in this rotation.
Yeah.
This is going to happen where you're not getting behind the plate wasn't great either. They missed a couple of what I thought were strikes, at least according to the TV where you see the little.
Yeah, and I looked at scorecard. He was rated really, really well. There's the umpires have that margin. It's just it is frustrating. But I think if the challenge system had been in place, then there would have been a couple opportunities. There were definitely 2 pitches that I thought cost Leiter.
Yeah.
And kind of and there was one that was missed that affected Lats that I thought changed in at bat. But anyway, those things are going to happen. But
sure. He wasn't one side or the other. I know everybody likes to think, well, those guys playing. I mean, he missed a few on both sides too. I mean, the Rangers, the Rangers did get some favorable calls also. They did miss a balk that could have been important.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
You have 4 umpires there and no one caught that. I mean, he dipped that back leg and moved that front one before he went. And you could see Carter, he was getting ready to go, I think.
Yeah.
And he just shook his head. But I immediately thought, Carter, what in the hell are you doing? Then I see the balk and I'm like, well, Jesus.
Yeah.
No wonder that move is what you're going on. When you're stealing that first move.
When you see the front leg move, you know.
That's it. That's when you're going. And my God, but that happens too. Nobody catches it like that. Boy, Bochy did, and Bochy was pissed.
Yeah. And Corey Ragsdale was not happy.
Yeah.
But anyway,
these things happen.
Yeah.
Minnesota's not a slouch. In fact, no team in MLB, they're teams that suck, but they can always get together one game and just see the ball looks this big and they're hitting everything. And Leiter did good for what it was. I tell you, the guy that's come on right now is Marcus Semien. Jesus.
Sure.
Yeah. And I mean, what he's done, we have said it over and over for everybody. Oh, he's washed up. You know what? We got this big contract. He's washed up. And now I've even heard that some with Seager, who's come back and didn't go on a rehab. But now he's starting to hit the ball hard again. This happens, guys. You've never seen a guy that works harder than Marcus Semien. First one out for infield, last one to lead, out for early batting practice, hitting every day. This guy does not sit on his ass and go, well, I'm going to figure it out. He's out there trying to figure it out every day.
Yeah. And he is older and it looked bad. And there wasn't a lot of juice in his swings, in the balls he was hitting.
Yep.
Were not driven, and the ones he did drive were like line drives that were probably chest high for the shortstop.
Right.
So, I mean, it's, but he's continued to work and he's really found something now. He has to be pulling the ball. That's the key for him. He has to pull the ball.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that lately. He has some 3 or 4 home runs on this road trip. Some big hits in that Nationals game on Saturday. So this is good. Evan Carter's been good.
Yes. Well, he smoked that one ball.
Corey Seager finally got some hits and has looked better and has been hitting the ball harder.
Did you notice he's opened that stance again?
Yeah. I don't know why he closed it. If it was working fine before he was hurt. Anyway, whatever. So if Semien and Carter are going, then maybe they can bring some of the other guys with them.
Yeah, Burgers looked better. I mean, he had
the hitting's contagious.
I think so.
Euphemism, saying adage. A lot of people believe in it, and if the Rangers can get multiple guys going, the rest will follow. So
sure,
I do think though, if you look at the last, starting with that Cardinals series, that this offense has been going the right way. And yes, that includes during the sweep at Tampa Bay. I know the first game there was a stinker. I know the first game at Florida was a stinker. Why do I keep saying Florida? At the Nationals was a stinker. But I think there's a little momentum here that you can start to have a little optimism about.
Sure. And here's the unfortunate thing, and it's just a reality. The problem is they are still going to run into good pitchers who are going to hold them to 1 run or 2 runs. Exactly. And people are going to think, oh boy, here we go again. It happens. I mean, the Texas Rangers aren't the only team that have really good starting pitching. Others have good starters. They may not have 3 like the Rangers do, 3 or 4, but they have good starting pitching that can hold your offense at bay. And it doesn't mean, well, here we go, we're going back the other way. Sometimes you just run into somebody that's a buzzsaw.
Right. Even the best offensive teams are going to be like shut down a day or 2 a week. They just are.
Yeah.
And so that's you kind of hope that's the stretch where the Rangers are in, that they're going to have more good than bad.
Sure.
And again, hope is not a very good strategy, but that's basically all the Rangers got right now.
Because this team is the team. I mean, it really is. Trade deadline, I guess it's semi-time to halfway do. But before we get into anything like that, man, DeGrom is just continued. Good Lord. This is what they paid for.
Yeah, that was really good Saturday. That was great stuff. And just setting them up, and they're coming up and they just had no chance.
They just didn't have
so that's promising to see. They are still keeping a pretty tight leash on them. And that, the reason is they want to take care of their investment for the next 3 years, but they also want to save some
juice for
bullets for September and October, because
he's not getting traded, guys. So quit talking about it.
That they can contend and be in the playoffs, not just this year, but for years to come. Chris Young shot down any notions of them trading Eovaldi or DeGrom. I don't know why. There's still the basic fundamental foundation that a baseball season is very, very long.
Yep.
And now this is a critical stretch. They got to be in striking distance, whatever they determine that to be, at the trade down. I'd say within a week before the trade deadline. So by July the 24th, the Rangers need to have an idea of if this thing is going to go forward.
Sure.
And so this is a pretty big stretch of 30 games probably.
Yeah.
To get to figure out if, all right, we can go forward. Chris Young saying this to himself, we can go forward. We can make some trades. We don't need to sell anybody off. And again, if it stays like it has been, they're not going to be able to sell any hitters.
No.
You can look, oh, well, let's trade Marcus Semien. Nobody's going to want Marcus Semien hitting 212.
Nope.
No one's going to want Adolis Garcia hitting 215. Especially with the contract situation. So you're probably, if it stays like this, you'd probably see and then the Rangers say, all right, we're out of it. You'll probably see Malley get traded.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the relievers get traded.
Sure.
But there aren't a lot of position players that are going to get dealt. There just aren't, unless the Rangers are just tired of them, want to dump them, and are looking at 2026
and just going to eat the salary.
And being all right, we need to restructure our lineup, change our personnel, get less aggressive hitters.
Garcia would be one that could be on that, and they'll just have to eat it. Yeah,
could be, but
he won't bring much. But you could. Somebody would go, well, if you're going to pay for it, if you're going to pay for it, we'll take that bat at the end of our lineup or back in there.
So anyway, but I think it's too early to do that. They still have the pitching in place. I know Malley gave up 3 earned runs the other night and didn't get out of the 6th. But if that's his bad start, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Leiter, you're going to deal with inconsistencies, and that the walk to Vasquez was not optimal.
No.
Which, was the one of the 3 runners who scored on the Buxton homer. So there's just you're going to live with the ups and downs. But his ERA is still under 4.
Yeah.
Corbin's ERA is under 4. They're all under 4.
Yeah. Well, so DeGrom's close to, what is he, 212 or 2.8?
And then, Eovaldi, you kind of have to wonder what's going on with him.
Yeah, that's the question. Have they said anything?
They just said he hasn't responded. I think it's a nerve issue.
Okay.
Once the nerve gets cooled down, he's going to be good to go. He's been playing catch the last couple of days, so that's a good sign.
Think he'll do a rehab?
He won't do a rehab. They'll get him on a mound. He'd have to throw a bullpen session, maybe a
live batting practice is what he'll do. Yeah,
potentially do that this weekend, and then maybe be good to go for the Pittsburgh series on the road, or maybe late against the Royals.
Yeah.
But if you get him back, then you're looking at pretty good things. And then Cody Bradford through live batting practice yesterday. They're going to stretch him out to 5 innings, which means he could be a spot starter. He can give him some long relief. So he will go on rehab. Yes, there are ways for them to maintain this level of pitching. Gray, I think Gray's coming back as a reliever. We've already but he's not on a mound yet.
Not on a mound. Okay.
No,
certainly looks healthy. Walking.
He just got on the mound. So he's got a little bit to go. Spores, probably the same schedule as Bradford, but he doesn't need to get stretched out to 5 innings.
Right.
So he has a chance to be with the team here early July. So I mean, there are things on the pitching side that are looking up, and the Rangers just need some depth right now. Their starting rotation depth is Dane Dunning and Kamar Rocker.
Yeah,
and because Garrison Garabuto is not going to be in the major leagues because
he's not going to be on the 40 man pretty soon.
He's getting his brains beaten in at AAA. Yeah, and once Bradford, Spores, and Gray are ready,
yeah, they're not. There's no reason to DFA him yet. They're just
the miracle that is Garrison Garabuto being on the 40 man will be over at that point.
Yeah, and there's just no reason to take him off of it right now.
No.
They don't have the move to make yet. But it's very. I mean, the guy's probably keeps his bags packed every day and doesn't settle into to wherever he's staying. I mean, look, but let me be honest. A couple years back, in fact, even in 23, I wondered how Josh Spores was not getting DFA'd. About every time they needed to make a 40-man move, and he kept playing. I called it 40-man jujitsu. He kept avoiding it, but look where he ended up. And I mean, they see something. I don't think with Garabito, though, you see it. You just don't have a move to make yet.
Well, and I mean, the reason he's on he had an okay spring, but also he has options. So he could come up and come down. Young guys with options are valuable, but they're not valuable if they can't get anybody out.
That's true. Mm-hmm. So, hey, Cole Wynn's been okay too.
Cole Wynn's been good.
Yeah, I like it. I like what we're seeing. Of course, we're big fans of Cole. He's always friendly with us.
Yeah.
And doing that, so it's good to see a former first round pick up in the big leagues and doing something. And he's in his, right now he's an all-star with the mustache.
Oh man, yeah.
Good Lord, that thing is funny.
He said he started growing at the start of the season, and he hasn't given up an earned run this season at whatever level he's been at. He's not given up an earned run, and we're into June. So
what did Crash say? Crash Davis, you don't F with a streak.
That's right. So he's gonna keep that thing.
Yeah, right? I mean that's the only thing he's got to do. You want to get Cody in here? Anything else we got to touch on before?
No, I don't think so. Just and it's been negative for 2 months, but I think things are starting to nudge forward a little bit.
I'm looking down the tunnel, and I think I see a light, and I'm not sure. There's a little brightness down there, but I'm not quite there yet. All right, guys. Cody Freeman's going to join us right after this. All right, guys, and joining us right now from Round Rock, where the Express are playing this week, it's Texas Rangers. I'm just going to call him all-around utility guy. I know he's listed as a third baseman. We've had him on here before. It's Cody Freeman. Cody, man, AAA doesn't seem to be a problem for you, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. Thanks for having me on, of course. No, it's just, it's baseball. You ride the ride. You can't ride the ride. The highs too high and the lows too lows, and just staying consistent and sticking to my routine and just off to a good start.
All right. So what do you consider yourself positionally?
And honestly, I would say utility, but I haven't played in the outfield yet. They mentioned it, but I would just consider myself an infielder.
Okay. I mean, third base seems to be where you've played the most the last few years. I know when you came up, you played second. I'm curious about shortstop. What's your comfort level there? I'm sure you played it in the past, but what is your comfort level at shortstop? Because that's a big one.
Yeah, no, I played there probably like 5 to 7 games this year so far, and I feel very comfortable. I know the last time I played it was in rookie ball in 2019, but yeah, no, it's comfortable, and it's like I feel like all infield spots are kind of the same and similar. So,
is it easier to play shortstop because you've played so much at third, or I guess the bat comes off the ball, maybe similar angles, or any tricks that you're running into?
Honestly, it's almost easier to see the ball because you're almost in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So you get better angles, better reads, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of shortstop. I like it. I feel like it's just adds to the infield spot or the utility as you say. So
yeah, and then still no catcher, huh?
Yeah, I haven't. No, they just said keep it in the back pocket. I'm not like giving it up. So
you still got
there.
The gear.
Yeah, it's still there if it's needed.
Well, his roommate's Cooper Johnson. There's your catcher. You can
right.
He's a dog.
maybe give him some pointers.
Yes.
See how he handles that.
No, from him, I mean, anyone could take pointers from him. He's a dog.
Yeah. Okay. So the offensive numbers really stand out. You're over 300. You're hitting for power. You're doing a little bit of everything. Your walks to strikeouts are fairly even. What is it that's propelled you to this nice start to your season?
Honestly, it's just nothing too much different than what I've done in the previous years. It's just I feel like it's just part of the development and part of the reason we have the minor league levels is you just try to strive each and every year and each and every day and just yeah, no, it's just nothing really much has changed and just kept riding from spring training, working with the hitting coaches, and then just letting it play on the field at 7 o'clock.
The strikeouts are noticeably down. I would say. I'm wondering if how the ABS has if the ABS is dictating anything when you're at the plate.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely it's helped me out a couple times this year on a strikeout specifically call. But I've always been a big fan of the ABS. I got asked in spring training by somebody, and I just always say the same thing all the time. I'm a big fan of it, but we can't have it to be a full automatic system because you need the umpires, you need the arguments, you need the human-like part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And but yes, you do need 2 to 3 a game to where it can't be game changing from a call from the umpire.
So you've gone to the helmet this season?
I have. I'm 4 for 5 right now.
Oh, hey, that's
We
pretty,
we, we,
pretty
we
good.
we keep track. Well, I mean, we don't have notes. We don't have notes or anything like that. But like, you deep down inside your head, like how many times you've messed up and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
And
it seems to me that you know when a pitch is a ball or when when it's not a strike. If you're 4 for 5, you're seeing the ball get.
I'm trying, but yeah, no, the one time I did mess up was very, very bad because I went for a bunt and I got super low and the pitch looked high and it was like almost, the whole ball was in there. And if the whole ball is in there, it's already a bad, like it's already a bad challenge. But like if the ball's in there with room, then it's just like you can't challenge for a week. Like you lost it.
You lose your privilege.
You're losing your privileges.
That's really
Correct.
fun. Well, yeah, I mean it's coming to the majors next year, and then
it is going to come. You think?
That's what the commissioner last week they pretty much leaked it or whatever they do.
Yeah.
And I guess there's some players who are concerned about it. Maybe it's the guys in Florida that really, in Florida they have a lot of standalone spring training places, and the challenge system wasn't experimented in spring training at one team facility. So I wonder if it's mostly those guys. I just think that everybody would be crazy. Maybe they're just not open to change right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But it seems like it is every game. It doesn't seem like it. It's every game where there is a bad missed call that changes an at bat. And I just think that
100%. And you just got to know like game situation. You can't be a 3-0 count in the first inning when it's 0-0 and like something's close and you want to challenge because your ego's so big, or vice versa. As a pitcher, it's like they get competitive, so like from their angle it looks like a strike, but catchers know better than pitchers, so it's kind of like a unwritten rule that pitchers aren't supposed to challenge and leave it up to the catcher because the catchers have a better feel. And it's just more of those things where it's like you got to our rule or like our kind of thing is like we're going to say one by the 7th inning, so if it does come down to a strike a ball, we have one challenge left. But it's like you got to be smart about it.
So do the catchers also get a challenge?
Catchers can challenge.
Okay, so that's what it was. So it's your catcher, not your pitcher. But
the pitcher.
No, it's both. It's pitcher, catcher, and hitter.
I should know this, but I don't. I mean,
I don't know. I remember in spring training there were a couple times where the catcher did it.
Okay,
and the catcher was right. I mean, So when you're right, does the umpire say anything? Do you look at the umpire and say clean it up, or you just
that's also a game situation. If it's like if he's having a bad game and like someone's challenged or both teams have challenged like more than like a certain amount of times and he keeps getting it wrong, it's like one of those things like come on man, like let's go, like lock it in. But like it's just like that's why we have the challenge, and use it when you need.
All right. So the offense in general there is doing really well. I wanted to ask you though about Blaine Krim, because you guys were drafted in the same year. You were drafted like 15 rounds before he was. But when he got called up, you were there, and we've seen the videos. How big of a deal was that for you to see a guy that you've known for so long finally get his chance?
Yeah, no, it's funny. You just said that. I just got the chills, like just remembering that time frame because it's like, it's like Blaine's been talked about for years and like, his story, late round, that type of deal, like a D2 school and didn't get a lot of money out of the draft and like seeing guys like that like come from where they came from and do what he did and what he's done in the minor leagues for pretty much his whole career and finally get the opportunity was like almost I was almost as happy for him as I was for my brother. Like it was almost it's I mean almost the whole organization was just as happy as like our team was for him and it was just so exciting because he deserved it and now he's in a great boat. He's on the 40 man and he's already got called up again. So I know he's gonna get more opportunities up there.
So you were in big league camp for the first time this year. I just wonder what that experience was like for you and how it's maybe helped you this season.
Yeah, no, well, I was the first
Oh,
time
you've
I
been
was.
as a catcher. You've been as a
Yeah, I was
catcher.
gonna say as a catcher, but it's different now. But like as an infielder, it was super cool. Just being there as an infielder this time is
Yeah.
learning more from guys like Seegers. I mean, taking ground balls next to him. It's just like kind of getting my feet wet. I've always been close with Josh Young, so he's always helped me out and help me out with things I need and what to do, what not to do. That type of route. And catching wise, when I did go, I still talk to Trevino because he took me under his wing that year, and we got super close. So we were actually just talking the other day, and it's just just building relationships is a big key in that big league clubhouse.
Yeah, that 2019 draft class, there's Josh. I mean, starting with Josh.
Yeah, then you had Wenzel.
Wenzel was in there.
Bradford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some guys in that thing. I mean,
Yeah.
but do you go all the way back to 19 when you guys were doing in Arizona and getting onboarded? I mean, you were right out of high school and, we're talking about Josh and Blaine and Cody being college guys and Davis.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember being the kid, or have you always just been able to fit in with these older guys?
No, I mean, I've always so growing up, I just always played with my brothers, like, older teams, so a couple years. So I've always been the younger guy, I guess you could say, like hanging out with the older people, even like high school with my brother's friends and stuff like that. So, when we got drafted, like obviously the high school guys, we all stayed close and just learning from the college guys and like what they did at their colleges and how it was, all that kind of stuff, and just building relationships starting from there that we still have now. Like guys like Mark Church was in that class too, and he's on our team, and we're still pretty close. There's like Gavin Collier. There's a couple other high school guys that that are still in this organization, which is really really cool.
Yeah, I mean that is an interesting, and that was the last 40 round draft, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken. And so
correct.
that was a pretty crowded clubhouse there. But yeah, so Josh Young, Davis Wenzel, Ryan Garcia, Justin Slayton, who's now with the Red Sox, then you, Kellen Strom, your teammate,
Yeah,
who's like having like a nice year.
he is. He
Bradford,
is.
Brandon Sproat, who was not signed, Zach Kent, who's in the majors.
Yeah.
That's damn impressive class.
You got to give hats off to your amateur scouting there.
I never really looked at it. And then 18 and 19 were Church and Krim. I mean, that's pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, these are all guys that they all look big league ready. I mean, you do too. 24 years old at AAA doing what you're doing. That creates opportunities right there. And that's not a name. Listen, facts are facts. We have Cody on. We love you, bud, but hitting 300 with 7 home runs and doing what you're doing sure helps to have you on, because we've been talking about him for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps. It creates opportunities. Congrats. I mean, it's exciting to watch.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Got to keep it rolling.
Yeah, keep it rolling. Long season.
Yeah.
All
right. What you got your questions lined up for him?
Yeah, I got a few fun ones.
I've got one for him too. I'll give you a chance to talk though.
Okay, so we always go to fun stuff with you. One thing, I like this. It's intriguing for me as somebody that wished I would have played big league ball or any kind of pro ball. What's your game day routine? What do you like when you know you got a 7 o'clock first pitch? What time are you up? What are you eating? When do you get to the field? What do you do that day?
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty similar every single day. You know, I'm getting up around 9 to 9:30, hop in the shower, go outside, read my devotional. You know, eat the same thing every single day: avocado toast with 2 eggs on top. You know, play a little bit Fortnite right after. I got an hour in between after that, so play some Fortnite with Trejo, one of my teammates, and then you know, head to the ballpark, and then from the ballpark on, it's pretty much the same thing every single day, doing all the baseball stuff before the game, and then the game, and then after doing your post game stuff, hit the showers, eat, and then rinse and repeat.
So has the price of eggs have come down? Have you noticed that? I mean, if you're buying your own eggs,
What's funny is I really don't ever look at the price of eggs. I just grab them because regardless of the price, like I'm gonna get them. But
yeah,
I just really don't know, like if they gone up or down. So
do you know the key to picking a good avocado? Do you tap them?
Yeah, I
mean,
can.
I don't know, so I'm asking you.
So I usually get a 5 to 6 pack because I'll eat them all week, and like I'll make sure one's somewhat ready for the next day, and then like make sure the other ones are a little bit harder. That way they just sit out and then ripe and get ready over the next 4 or 5 days.
But not too soft, right?
Right, not too soft, but kind of in between. My aunt is makes great guacamole, and man, when she goes for the avocados, it's a clinic and how she picks them out. But it's the best guacamole I've ever eaten in my life. I mean, I'm addicted to it when she makes it.
I used to hate the avocado, but I really like it.
It's the best. I've been eating it.
I've acquired.
Yeah, I can't get tired of it.
Coming from California, the avocado is big. The Southern California.
Very true.
Speaking, we always get into food. So speaking of food, I always wanted to know like this. So you're in Round Rock this year. You were in Frisco last year. Have you found any spots maybe in the Austin area, Round Rock area, like hole in the wall places where you're like, yeah, man, this is, at least 2 days a week or whatever. I hit this place for whatever, or this place for whatever. Have you found any good spots?
Honestly, like when it comes to eating out, like during the playing week, I really don't, because it's like you go to I make breakfast every day, and then like they provide lunch and dinner, and like by then it's like I just go home. And the time we do go out, like if it's like on a Sunday night after a Sunday afternoon game, like to go get dinner, it's somewhere downtown. Like my go-to is just any type of good steak. Like I'll go to a steakhouse, but like I just
down in Austin or Round Rock.
Usually we go down in Austin just to get like it's only 15 minutes downtown, or 15-20 minutes from us. So there's plenty of and tons of nice restaurants down there. But there's not one that specifically stands out.
Okay. Do you do barbecue, or have you become a barbecue guy?
I've always been. There's obviously, you guys probably heard of Terry Black's down here, and that place is pretty electric. But yeah, I'm a big barbecue guy.
I mean, have you tried them all? Have you tried like Franklin's and
Franklin's is the only one I haven't tried that's in like the Dallas area. I've tried I believe it's like Hutchins
is up by McKinney.
Yeah.
Or what's the one in Frisco that I had last year? It was
there's one in Frisco too. They have 2 locations.
Okay, I've had that. That one's great as well. So
yeah, Franklin's is, I mean, pretty much downtown Austin. It's across the highway.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of Franklin's. Yeah.
From downtown.
I have not had it though yet.
It's good.
It's listed as the best restaurant in the state of Texas by this thing I saw. They go to each state and the best restaurant.
And the top 50 list just came out.
Wow.
Texas Monthly does a top 50 barbecues like every 3 or 4 years, and there are a ton that are always in Austin. But like Aaron Franklin's the one who kind of started this whole thing.
I gotta give it a shot.
Well, I mean, you gotta go. You gotta stand in line.
Oh, that's what
pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Maybe with the team, you can say, hey, can you
hook up an express man?
but anyway,
Uber Eats. See if you can get Uber Eats from Franklin's.
Yeah, something.
The shot.
Hey, let me ask you this. I mean, you guys travel around. You're now and you're going around the AAA stadiums now and doing that. besides Round Rock, and is it Dell Stadium that they play
Dell
at?
Diamond.
Dell Diamond or whatever it is there. Have you found any places that's your favorite stadium to go to outside of Round Rock that you're like, it's pretty cool here, or the city's cool or something like that?
Yeah, no. So that easily taken over as my favorites. Charlotte playing on the field, like with the view in the background. That's
That's pretty
easily
cool.
my
Yeah, that's
favorite
cool.
field, like being in the box. But overall, like clubhouse, like hotel, field, all that kind of stuff is the new Salt Lake field that we just came from.
Really?
That stadium is, and everything is just so sick about it.
Yeah, it's in the suburbs, right?
It is. It's about 25 minutes south of Salt Lake, but it's
Yeah,
that clubhouse, the field, it's sick.
nice. Well, Charlotte, I think, wants an MLB team.
Yeah.
They should. I said that when I was there. I mean, the stadium that they have is, I mean, it's almost smack downtown with the sky rises behind. It kind of reminds me of Petco Park when I played there in 19 for Instructs. It's just so sick.
Yeah, Charlotte, like Nashville. Nashville
They have a nice stadium too.
was a Rangers affiliate, AAA affiliate before COVID, and their stadium is very similar. It's you look into the skyline.
Yeah. They have a big guitar in Nashville.
But
yeah, they did. I went there this offseason. I was near it. I think I had lunch right next to the field, and I went to go look at it. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, they have MLB aspirations too. Nashville.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I'd go with.
I'm for it.
I don't know. I like both cities. I like them both.
They're both really nice cities too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlotte is very nice. I really like Charlotte.
Yeah, I used to go to Charlotte on business. I've always liked going to Charlotte. It's a great place.
We would go down once in a while when we were in Hickory. It's like but the thing is, it's like a 50-minute drive. So on an off day or a Sunday night, like we would go have a nice dinner or something.
Sure. Yeah. No, when I was covering, this has been a while, but when I was covering NASCAR,
oh yeah,
I would drop into.
I've been to the racetrack. I've been to the Charlotte racetrack before.
So it's just a nice area. It's like pine trees. It'll snow there, but then it's it's 4 seasons.
Well, both North Carolina and South Carolina are very pretty. I mean, I've always said I love Texas, but if I didn't live in Texas, I've always loved the Carolinas. I just think they're great. Golf courses too. All right, did you have one? Because I got a fun one.
How is your brother doing?
He's doing great right now. He started off like, it's tough going from, I think 9 years in the same organization and then getting traded and right before the season starts.
Right.
Like a couple days after or before spring training ended, and it was tough mentally for him, and he started off a little slow, wasn't playing too much, and then now he found it and he's kicking butt right now, and I think he's hitting right over 300, and he's doing that thing. He's playing right field a lot more, and he's enjoying it.
Have you talked about how abysmal the Rockies are, record wise? How's he handling that?
Yeah, it's a little different. Even coming from Trejo, our teammate, he was in the big leagues with them, or he was with us, and then got sent over straight to the big leagues. Played there for 6 or 7 weeks, and so it's a little different. Especially for my brother, he coming from the Guardians, like a very winning organization, and going from a tough year that the Rockies are having. It's like I said, it's a little different. It was mentally different too from that change, and it's just it's part of the game. It's just like hitting. You're going to struggle, and teams are going to struggle, and then just can't ride them too low. Can't ride them too low, and then just stay consistent and keep doing your thing. And he just said it's a little different, but there's not much he can do.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's a team sport, but it's like a super individual team sport. Yeah. You just got to do your job. You can't worry about the other 8 guys in the line.
For sure.
Yeah.
On the mound, but
still a big leaguer.
He's still a big leaguer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In a great city. I'm biased, but in a great city.
Yeah.
And,
we knew you're going to work in Colorado somehow.
Great ballpark.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've never been to the ballpark there. So
is it Coors Field?
Coors Field. Yeah. Blake. Well, that's getting too nerdy, but they redid right field. So even though the Rockies aren't great, they still get pretty good attendance because it's kind of a place where people like to go. Now the on-field product, it's not. This isn't just a one-off for the Rockies here the last few years. They don't have a lot of direction. So hopefully Tyler can get them going.
Yeah, that's the plan. Direction. That's the plan. Hopefully, I could depending on where I'm at postseason or whatever, just go see a game, go to that ballpark. I like to go to new ballparks and stuff like that. So like to see him play a game.
Yeah,
no,
that'd be fun.
It's nice. Even if I wasn't from Colorado, I would say that it's a nice ballpark.
Yeah, I've heard it is too, and I understand Coors Beer has a big play there, right?
They're players there.
Yeah. Okay, you done?
I'm done. That was all I had for Cody on the non-baseball stuff.
Okay. All right, man. Well, that's it. I think we can wind it down. We're sitting right at an hour here. Cody, it's great to see you again. We're actually planning a trip. We're going to try to get down there for.
Yeah, absolutely. We always got to go down there at least once and see the fellas and see Chris and Tim. They always seem to take care of us. And Rylan is a good dude.
They're awesome.
Go get down there. So we'll see you soon enough.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you guys for having me, as always.
All right, Cody. As always, we appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming down, guys. Hey, guys, we're going down in the bus leagues right after this. Hey, big thanks to Cody Freeman for joining us right there. It's time to go down in the bus leagues. We're going to touch all the way from AAA, the Round Rock Express. In fact, this week we're going to go to the DSL just a little bit. They finally started their games up. We're going to touch at each level, talk about a player or two there as we go. Obviously, we start out with Round Rock, with the Round Rock Express, who, by the way, are sponsors of ours.
That's right.
And we got to give them some props. Got to give them some props for that. Not just for the bus leagues, but for the entire show. So big thanks to them. But let's go to Round Rock Express. Round Rock Express are 31-34 right now. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They won last night. They are in fourth place in the Pacific Coast League. And Rocker started night before last.
He did, and it was good. A run in 4 innings. So that's
4 strikeouts, 4 innings.
That's a positive thing.
No walks.
Yeah. The key continues to be that he just needs experience in games. The play in Tampa. Yeah, not to beat a dead horse, but he needs to be in games and experience things like that and understand game situations. It's been a while since he's played. He doesn't have a ton of professional innings, and at college he was so dominant. He probably didn't have to think much about what was going on, and but it's more than just running to first base. He's terrible holding runners. And then there's some pitch sequencing things going on too, because he's trying to throw this cutter type thing or a harder slider, whatever you want to call it, but you got to know when to use it.
Yep.
So there's a lot that he needs to work on, and I hope that he gets the time to develop further before
they have
Rangers are like, all right, let's get him back up.
Yeah, there's a need. We got to get him back, because let's be honest, if you haven't noticed, I'm just talking to you fans. The stuff's there. Yeah. He's got stuff that gets out big league hitters. Period. I mean, there's no way to get around it. He throws an upper 90s fastball. He's got off speed stuff. Now, whether that does he only throw 3 pitches?
3 or he thinks he throws like 5 pitches, but he really.
How many do you control?
Fastball and slider.
Yeah, that's what he goes to a lot.
That's something else he needs to do. Maybe he needs to open up his arsenal a little bit. You've seen DeGrom throw the curveball more this year.
Yeah,
maybe just some stuff like that. A lot. He just has things to work on.
And DeGrom. We've already talked big league stuff, and we've already praised DeGrom, but DeGrom is like Greg Maddux that throws 100 miles an hour. He is always thinking of what he can do to offset it. But Kamar throws so good that he looks so fluid throwing that ball. I mean, you look at Leiter, he looks like he's really got to wind up to bring it, although he's pretty smooth this year. But Rocker's just fluidity is just, he throws 99, just swinging and throwing.
It is easy, but
you got to throw strikes, and you got to move the ball, and you got to do that. Let's talk about the bats before we go down to AA. I mean, we've already talked to Cody Freeman. We know what he's doing there. Blaine Krim's still doing well there. I mean, I tell you what, I know that it's because they're not getting at bats, but my mind just went. Foscue is still doing well down there.
He came off the injured list last week. I think it was last week, and he's done really, really well.
Now, Duran's spot is who you think of if he were to come up and replace somebody, but there's just not at bats right now.
Yeah, and I would think that Freeman would be more of a Duran replacement.
Someone that could
somebody who can play just about everywhere and
even catcher.
Do okay. That's right. And but Krim is continuing to do very, very well. I don't think they'll recall Kellen Strom, but he's having a nice year down there. And he has 22 stolen bases and he only been caught once. That's kind of cool.
Wow.
Just throwing it out there. But yeah.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. That's
And Dustin Harris, he hit for the cycle last week. I think we mentioned that, but it's been kind of a struggle down there for him. So hopefully he can get things going in the right direction.
And besides Rocker, the arms there are Curvello is still there. There was rumors last week that he was coming up to the big league team. He wasn't. He's still got great numbers.
I think he would have been called up if they decided to put Martin on the injured list, but they decided to not do that. And he's made one appearance, maybe two. He's been okay.
Yeah, he hasn't been bad. Let's go down to Double-A. The Frisco Rough Riders. Frisco Rough Riders are 33-25, 4-6 in their last 10. They did win last night. They are in second place in the Texas League right now. Walcott's continued to obviously do well. He's got 16 or 17 doubles now.
16.
19-year-old Double-A kid. Yeah. Hitting over 250. His OPS is over 800, isn't it? Or right at it?
Right below it. But it's exciting. Don't get too excited. He's not coming to the major leagues anytime soon.
He's not coming to AAA anytime soon. I think he's going to stay there till maybe at least.
I think he's got a little time still here at Double-A. This is a big series for the boys. They're trying to win the first half here. Again, and I think Midland is the team ahead of them.
They are.
This is kind of this is going to decide the first half champs and lock up a playoff spot. But there are some guys doing some good things. Cam Cauley is coming around, which is
when are you really player of the month or week or
he was like the defensive player of the month.
Okay.
And then you have Abby, who's runs hot and cold, but Luis Maesis, who we've talked about, who's a little bit older. Josh Hatcher, just real steady, does not walk, but he puts the bat on the ball frequently. But really, every time, really, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Walcott. And then on the pitching side, you've got the two lefties with Drake and Bratt, who are just
good,
doing phenomenally. Mitch, his ERA climbed over 2 finally. He pitched okay the other night.
Maybe he needs to go back to Hub City.
Drake pitched well last night. When he's on, his stuff is too much. It's too much for these Double-A kids. So
yeah,
I'd suspect that both of them will be on the move before too long to AAA, and then at AAA, that's when they would become options for the big league club. They're not going to skip them from Frisco. I was told that,
unless it's total emergency.
I was told that explicitly. They're not skipping a level. So
yeah, the only way you'd ever see that is trauma at the big league level, where 3 pitchers go down in 3 nights or something, and you're forced to reach down even further than you want to. But no, I agree. They need to go to AAA and keep going.
Yeah, this is a good team.
They are a good team.
Yep.
The Hub City, let's go to High A now. The Hub City Spartanburgers, they are 30-29. They are 4-6 in their last 10. They've lost 3 games in a row. They're in 3rd place. Inaugural season. That they're going there. This is a team that shows some promise. They've got some good players.
Yeah.
The standout of the team, there's no even getting around it, is David Davalillo, who is their standout pitching prospect, who you got to think at some point is going to be up in Double-A.
Yeah, it'll become promotion season here. Not too much longer. They're reaching the halfway point of their seasons. So,
and unlike most businesses, this is a roll-up business, so it's got to have moves ahead of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That happen too. So you don't roll down when things start. When the boss gets mad, it rolls downhill. Promotions are roll uphill. So you got to roll uphill, and there's got to be some openings that clear up ahead of you.
Yeah, our guy Keith Jones has had a good little go here lately with some home runs, and he's been pretty good. I think, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game hitting streak. Again, there's some homers in there, some doubles, some big hits. So that's good to see.
And he can go bowl 300 if you.
That's right. And he will beat you at the bowling alley. He will beat you and beat you bad and won't show any remorse.
No, go back and watch that, guys.
What a nice kid.
Oh, go back and watch it. That interview is fun. He is just a great kid. You can't help but pull for him.
Yeah. Figueroa still all power. Not a lot of hit to go with it. I think Dryling has picked it up a little bit after a kind of a slump, which may have coincided with his appearance on our show. I hope he doesn't see that. But there's some good there again. There are good arms down there. Leandro Lopez is doing well.
Yeah, he had another good night the other night.
Yeah, so there's just good things happening at this team, and I know they're in third place, but it's not like they're 12 games back.
No, they're not. They're pretty bunched up.
Yeah.
Pretty bunched up there. Let's go down to low A Hickory, the Hickory Crawdads. Of course, they've been with the organization for a long time, but they're back in low A again. They are 30-28. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They did lose last night, also in third place. There are the Crawdads. I mean, if you're going to go, you got different ways you can go there to talk about players. I mean,
well, Maxon Martin was the player of the week in the South Atlantic League last week. So that's the second time this year he's been player.
And he gets on a streak and goes.
He has 28 extra base hits in 53 games. That's pretty good.
Another good kid with a good story if y'all want to go back and listen to that one.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy that we learned a lot about. So, that's and you're going to get to the point where some of these guys maybe get called up, like Martin, though, it probably not till later.
Yeah.
Chandler Pollard's been around at this level for a while, and he's doing pretty well. No, not a lot of power there, but you could see that happening. On the pitching side, it's the usual suspects. It's Scarborough, Mason Molina. We've mentioned them. Ismail Algreda.
Yeah.
Dalton Pence, who I think was the Rangers reliever of the month for May.
Okay.
Brock Porter still out there getting those relief appearances in and doing just fine.
Yeah.
No need to worry about him. Just let him do his thing, and it'll all work out in the end.
Is his velo up? Are they saying
it's up?
That's the main thing. This was a kid that was throwing close to 100 or around 100 coming out of high school. Of course, his competition coming out of high school wasn't huge.
Right.
And that's where it all changed for him. When you dominate what you're at, and then all of a sudden you run into kids that are like, well, I can hit that if you're going to throw it.
Well, and then, he was fine his first full season, and then just had some mechanical issues last year.
Oh, yeah, he was off on that. Hey, Arizona Complex League. This is a team that's in first place right now in the ACL West. They're 17-12, 5-5 in their last 10. They've won their last couple of games. I mean, if you're not talking Fitz/Gerald, then I don't know who you're talking about. That kid is tearing it up.
Yeah, he's cooled off the last few games, but he was the Rangers player of the month in the minor leagues, beating Cody Freeman. So he, and again, this is a 19-year-old, and he was drafted as a shortstop. He can play a couple different positions. He leads that league in home runs. All right. This guy, he's not 6'5".
He's got 7, doesn't he?
He has 6, but he's not a huge guy. He's 5'10", 5'11". It's not like you look at him and say, oh, that guy's not a power hitter, but he hits for some power.
He's got some pop.
Yeah. Clymer Lemos has cooled off a little bit, the first baseman, but there's some pretty good players down here, and Yolfran Castillo has hit a slump. He's which is unusual for him. No power, but I guess his swing. I asked Ross Fenstermaker about it. His swing is kind of right now geared for line drives, but there's so much contact that they don't really worry about the power right now. It'll come. He's still a wiry guy, and young. Gosh, these guys are still young. Let's not forget about that. One pitching note, and I wasn't aware that he was back. David Hageman, who I believe was the 5th round pick last year for the Rangers out of West Virginia, even though he had Tommy John surgery. So they knew that he was not going to pitch last year He made his first appearance since Tommy John and pitched 2 innings and struck out 4.
Jeez.
He had big stuff. That's why the Rangers drafted him. It was 23 pitches, 6 straight outs, dominating stuff. He was a really good college pitcher. All right, he's 22, so he's not going to be at this league long. But
he'll go out.
This might be like kind of a rehab assignment, if you will, and then he'll be out. I would guess Hickory, but they might go to the Hub City just because he has pitched in college and was really, really good there.
Okay, well, let's go down to the Dominican Summer League, which has started theirs. Now, they haven't played a lot. Let's just talk. There's 2 teams there. They got the red team and the blue team. A vast difference, even though they try to say they split it evenly. The red team is 5-2 right now. Blue team 0-6.
Yeah, not a great start for the blue team, but the red team, it does have a couple notable guys from this most recent signing class. Alorki Rodriguez, who's playing kind of all over. He has 3 home runs. He's batting .407. He's 17. All right.
Holy crap.
That's pretty good. John Simon.
Is he an outfielder or is it
outfielder, second base? They're trying to trying to figure it out. He's an up the middle guy. John Simon, who I think got 500,000. He's not doing great. No, he's getting on base a lot. And then Marco Arguden, who they signed in February for not much. He just was, I believe he was the DSL player of the week last week. He's batting .524.
That's pretty good.
He's 19. He's from Cuba. So this one was not publicized. So obviously he had to somehow get out of Cuba.
Right.
So maybe
a lot of them are defecting to the South American countries, right?
Someone to definitely ask about. The next
any power is he showing right now, or is he just
a homer and 4 doubles? And this guy,
so he does have some slugs.
This guy's on it. So that's a pretty interesting name to watch. On the blue team, David Ortiz Jr. is on the blue team.
I know who his dad is.
Yeah, his dad's pretty good. So it's just some guys you got to have a little patience with. It's early in the season for everybody. The guys going good and the guys who aren't going good.
Yeah, absolutely.
My grammar's terrible.
None of it means anything. The guy hitting 500 could be hitting 120 by a month from now.
He's still hitting 500 in a month. Well, then we probably have a story on our hands.
Yes, we do.
So we'll see how that plays out. So anyway, and then the blue team has a guy named Joaquin Arias, which makes me think of the old Rangers infielder Joaquin Arias.
Is this his kid?
I don't know. It's possible, but I do not have a lot of information on him.
Hey, he's
18.
Wasn't he the big draw that came with the Alex Rodriguez trade?
Right. They had a choice between Cano and Arias, and they took Arias.
Yeah. So they made the choice. The guy who wanted
the wrong call on that one.
Yeah, they did. They seem to have that one off. Well, that's a good one right there in the books. Big thanks to Cody Freeman for joining us there. You've got a post-game show that's going to be coming up. Rangers, if you're looking now, they're starting where we're at right now. Just telling you where we are. You're watching this now, obviously, after we're done, but we're about an hour away from first pitch up in Minnesota, where Patrick Corbin's going, but Jeff's going to be heading to the big studio, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Watch it up there and get ready for the post-game show. Hey, guys, we appreciate every week. Big thanks to Round Rock again for sponsoring this. For Cody Freeman and Jeff Wilson, I'm John Moore. Until next week, guys, we'll see you at the yard.